Hi, I'm Ryan Gingerich, the behaviorist. So your horse is stuck in neutral, huh? Well, I'm going to take you through the process that I use to help rehabilitate those horses that won't go forward. So what's the process? How does this process work? Well, I use an acronym called OEPA. Now it stands for Observe, Evaluate, Plan, and then Act. This DVD is going to take you through that process. First, we're going to observe your horse, see if there's any underlying physical issues or anything else that could be causing this no-go forward problem. Then we're going to evaluate the horse. We're going to evaluate you and say, maybe your cues are inconsistent. Maybe there's something else going on with your tack or your tools. Then we're going to lay down a plan, or lay out a plan of action. And we're going to say, these are the steps that we're going to take to help resolve that issue. And then we're going to act on that plan and really resolve those issues that you're having with your horse. So I'll tell you what, let's go get your horse out. Let's do the observation portion right now. Observation. So what are we looking for in your horse? We're looking for anything that could be causing this horse not to want to move forward. The very first thing, before I do anything, any work or any rehabilitation work with any horse, the very first thing I do is call a veterinarian out and say, Doc, is there anything going on with this horse that I need to be aware of? Is there any lameness issues? Is there any issues with his back, his teeth, anything like that? The other thing we're going to need to look for, and a veterinarian can help you with this, is his body score. How does his overall body condition look? Is he too fat? Is he too thin? What is his nutrition like? Are you feeding him high amounts of very high carbohydrate diets, or are you feeding him just grass hays? All that. There's got to be a balance in everything with your horse. Once you've ruled out any kind of physical issues, then you know for certain that it's a behavioral issue, and it's something we can really begin to rehabilitate your horse with. The other thing you're going to need to look for too is your tack and tools. Is the saddle fit properly? Is the bridle fit properly? Is the bit correct for that horse? Are you using big, huge spurs? Is there anything else that's going on with your horse as far as the tack and tools go that we might need to change? Evaluation. So what are we looking for from our horse? We're simply looking for the horse to respond to our cues when asked. So the question you always need to ask yourself is, what's the horse not doing that I want him to do? Obviously, if you're tapping the horse's girth line and he's not moving forward, well, then you got to go forward issue, right? So what kind of tools you're going to need to evaluate your horse? Real simple tools. 3-foot dressage whip, cotton lead rope, leather or cotton or nylon halter. Again, I cover this in my basic control DVD, much more depth. Once we get to this point, we're going to do an evaluation with the horse. If I'm tapping the horse's girth line and the horse is simply not moving forward, we got an issue here, all right? Where is he on our scale, our pressure scale? The pressure scale is pretty simple. It goes from 0 to 10. 0 is no contact. 10 is the most pressure it takes to get the job done. What does 10 look like? 10 sometimes looks like this. Move forward. Do you have to do that with your horse? Gosh, I hope not, all right? But you might have to at some point in time. When you initiate a cue, you have to get a response. That's just how this whole thing works, okay? If you initiate a cue and you don't get the response that you're asking for, well then you're untraining your horse, you're not training your horse, you're not rehabilitating your horse, you're not reconsolidating that cue to that horse, okay? So what we're looking for from the horse is if I tap him here lightly, he shouldn't be doing this kind of stuff. He shouldn't be swishing his tail and getting aggravated with his back feet. What I'm looking for the horse to do is simply take a step off, back up, okay? Take a step off when I ask you to, all right? Move forward when I ask you to, okay? Do it with some energy. If your horse is walking along like your old grandma going to the store, we got a problem, okay? So I'll tell you what we're going to do next. This is the very beginning of that evaluation process. If I tap you here at the girth line, at spot 1, okay, looking for that left leg to move forward. Should come forward with some energy, all right? We're going to do this a couple of times, seeing if that's where our problem lies, okay? If I tap here and I'm just tapping very lightly, maybe a 1 or 2, maybe it's not a groundwork issue. Maybe we don't have to do some groundwork with the horse. Maybe we need to get under saddle. So I'll tell you what we're going to do next. Let me go get him tacked up. I'll be right back.